you ever watch CBC Late Night, Emery?
No.
No? Yeah.
You got to describe it for me.
I watched the show once. Once we get on, where the framing was all like this. And so that's how I describe it. Whenever anybody says nice framing, I always say, yeah, it's the CBC Late Night look. Your head's chopped off. Yeah. Should we get started?
Yeah. Welcome back to another episode, everybody. My name's Emery Wolf. Hey, wait, you were supposed to do the intro on this one.
How was I going to do it?
Yeah, I'm Nick Lamb, and this is my podcast.
Oh, yeah. This is welcome to Just Two Camera Guys. My name is Nick Lamb, and joining me is my partner.
Greatest intro ever to our show right now. No one catches on to the joke but us. The Moose Jaw Film Festival, we were talking about that, and then we took like a month layover for it to actually happen before we did anything else. We should wrap this thing up. Yeah, we should wrap up that festival. Nick, how do you want to wrap that up?
So that joke actually comes from the festival, because the way that most film festivals run is that they'll do a block of filming where they'll maybe do an hour and a half of films and shows, and then the directors from that hour and a half movies all kind of go up to the front, and there's a moderator, and they ask some questions about their movies. So it's kind of cool. It's a really neat chance to actually get to hear from the director, people involved in the films. But they were running really short on time. So what Jeremy did was he was like, okay, with me is Dylan. And if you want to hear about Dylan's film, you should check out Nick's podcast that he did with his partner. And they did a great interview about it.
Yeah, just Nick's podcast. It was great.
Yeah.
I was giggling. I think I texted you on the way home even. I was laughing at it still.
Yeah, the podcast with my partner. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was good. It was like, but he actually said that about a couple of different people of like, make sure you check out the podcast. So that was cool.
It's okay, Jeremy. In a couple of years, it'll be Nick's Film Festival too. So
yeah, actually, you should say that so Jeremy actually wanted you to moderate a couple of the sessions next year. So you should say that when you get up there. You should go, my name is Emery Wolf. I'm from Nick's podcast, his partner, and then Jeremy.
Welcome to Nick's Film Festival.
Yeah, he's got his partner over here that helps him out and point to Jeremy.
Yeah, just it wouldn't be the first time, that I've taken a joke for an entire year.
Yeah, he would have no clue. I guarantee Jeremy won't remember saying that at all.
No. Yeah. So Nick, actually, because you're a part of it, I guess, what's your perspective? How did everything go?
So it went, I got to start by saying it went better than we'd ever imagined in more ways than one. Of like, people enjoyed it, more people showed up, how excited everybody was. Everything was better than expected, but I didn't really realize how well it was going till it would have been later in the evening, either right around the last block of films or the awards, because you know what I mean? Like, you're kind of running around. It's like you're kind of solving problem after problem, stuff coming up that you didn't anticipate, trying to figure out how to get people in smooth. And then at the end of the night, everybody was like, wow, such a great event. You guys did such a good job. I loved it. And it was like countless people saying that. So yeah, I was super excited. Are these photos that Emery's showing right now? They're so cool. And so there was like a local artist that made these awards that made them look so cool. Kyriako came out and he did all the photos. They look so cool. I think that really adds to the event, having these photos that we can kind of look back on and have them just look so good.
Yeah, for sure. Going back to the event itself, you running around, you definitely did seem like you're like a chicken with your head cut off for the expression. Like I feel like the first time we met, you're like, "Oh, hey, good, you guys came," and then you're gone.
Yeah. Well, but that's what it was like, because and so this was part of the stuff, is that we had tons of really good volunteers. But the trickiest part was, because the volunteers, rightfully so, are kind of film nerds, they want to see all the shows too. So we got to figure out a way that the volunteers that want to see all the films can still see the films that they want to see. I'm not sure how to figure that out, whether it's some kind of sign up sheet that you're going to be in the lobby when during a film that you're okay missing, and then swap out with somebody else. Or yeah, we got to figure that out, because the problem is that we all want to be inside watching the films, but not everybody can be.
Yeah. Or try to find someone who just doesn't care to watch them, right?
Yeah, that's what we really need. We need to get we need to get your mom down here, who wouldn't care about watching films, but it's okay just running the front desk all day.
Could you imagine the wolf and lamb mums running things?
Oh my goodness. Just running the front desk all day. Wouldn't that be wild?
That would be wild. Yeah, too. It was good too, like for social stuff. I know, like when I got there, I didn't talk to a whole pile of people, and we only showed up. We showed up like I think a half hour late, and then we ended up leaving after the second set of screenings. So we didn't get to stay for everything. Had just other commitments.
We saw like 1.5 blocks, something like that. 1 3/4 blocks of films.
Yeah, right. And for the second one, we ended up sitting with you and your wife, and then we ended up talking with Janice pretty extensively there too after. But there is that social aspect of it, right? And kind of looking around, you've seen some of these, like there was, I'm going to say, the older generation of filmmakers there talking. You could hear them like, "Oh man, it's been a while." And then you get to like the newer generation, and they're all talking to each other. And I think people were like going out for dinner and stuff together too, meeting up. So there was this real good social aspect of it too, which I wasn't really sure how that was gonna pan out.
Totally. And for us personally, I felt like doing all of these podcasts ahead of time helped us socially there, because we already got to know several of the filmmakers prior to the event. So I don't know about you, but it was like, oh, you just kept running into guys like, oh, there's Nathan, like, oh, there's Dylan, people that you wouldn't really necessarily know ahead of time if you didn't interview them.
Yeah, most of my interactions with the people we interviewed was like, hey, and then like someone else would come along or whatever. That was it. Like, oh, you came, cool, right? I think too, was it Nicole's mom had stopped us and was like, oh, I just wanted to thank you guys for interviewing my daughter.
Oh, who was it? Yeah, somebody did. Yeah, that was neat.
Yeah,
but it's like, you don't realize what it means. Kind of nice to bring some attention to the Saskatchewan film industry. And I don't know about you, but I think to line up episodes, like I'd love to line up an episode with the Welcome to Kittytown guys, Doug, who directed that one, and the We Were Broncos director. Basically, I'd like us to just kind of work our way down through the lists, maybe start with the winners and then go down even further if we have time throughout the year, building up to next year, because it's Saskatchewan stuff, right? I think to me it would be nice interview stuff for us to do.
Yeah. So on the website there are the winners are posted of each category. Nick, the winners, what is?
Oh yeah, should we want to roll through the winners?
Yeah, I'll scroll through it here. Actually, do you want to talk about each one a little bit, or?
Yeah. So just to be clear, the jurors pick the winners. This is not me or Jeremy or Tim. We don't have anything to do with the winners, but we got to see the films because they're all submitted to Film Freeway. So we actually did get to see the films, even if they didn't get shown. Most of the films I did get to see myself. And Welcome to Kittytown, that's one, Emery, I'm going to have to make sure you get a screener of it before we interview Douglas, because it's a shockingly good film. It's one of those micro budget. I think it's $50,000 or $60,000 features. Like, you remember working on movies, like 60,000 doesn't go very far. But yeah, this one, super strong acting. Yeah, just a fabulous film, and it's going up against some big competition there, like Van Life. That's a major, big time movie, right? So yeah, yeah, that one was cool to see. The next one, we're scrolling down, best short film. To me, this is where a lot of the up and coming filmmakers kind of came out to play. Would you agree with that one, Emery?
Sure. As far as up and coming, I honestly, I feel like I wouldn't know or be able to comment on that, but I feel like a lot of these were, I'm going to say, like, really well done stories.
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch all of them though, but like the ones when we showed up for the screening. So Tuesday was the first one we seen.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wow, like this is really beautiful. It's really well done. The jokes kind of hit, they're kind of funny.
Yeah.
And then I was excited
Let's go through the ones that you saw. Yeah.
Yeah, I was excited to see Fossil Record as well too. And you know, after talking to Carla and kind of hearing about how that got put together, kind of made a lot of sense there too.
It's hilarious. Such a good film.
Yeah. And then I mean, Our Last Day as Kids is probably, like, out of all of them, I thought it was maybe sort of the most well done one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not real surprised it won. The other one that I found a little shocking, or like shocking in a good way, was More Than One Way to Split a Cat. Like, that final joke actually, like, hit for me in, like, the best way. And I was just like, oh, the whole thing was to get to that joke.
Yeah, the whole thing was about that joke. I love it. They like made the joke and then reverse engineered the film. Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty good. But again, all of them, we watched the Air and Hunting Trip. Fuck was also one of them that played at the show that I didn't see until we went there. But yeah, all of them were good in their own rights.
Did you see a priest walks into a bar?
No.
Okay, yeah, it's got a great joke twist at the end. That's really good too.
It sounds like a joke.
It's and it sets it up so it like starts off kind of hot, where it's like boom, action, and then they settle into the bar. I'm not going to give away the joke because it's too good, but it's like they settle in and then they get into this serious conversation, and it kind of like lulls you down, and then it like just boom. It's got a great punchline. And I just getting back to the winner there with Our Last Day as Kids. There is a moment in that film where they're on the railroad tracks and then they mention Saskatchewan. Do you remember that moment?
Mm-hmm.
In the film? And if that particular moment didn't exist, it felt too good to be a Saskatchewan film in the best way. Like, in giving it a compliment, it just felt like this is a film that was made by a filmmaker in New York that's kind of like an up and coming director or something. So yeah, that one, but because it had that moment, it was like, oh, this is this really great film that's filmed in Saskatchewan, but has this still kind of universal message. And yeah, I just love that idea. It's like, yeah, really, this is Our Last Day as Kids, and they're kind of going through that of like, are they still a kid or are they now an adult, and where does that line happen? And
yeah, and how does love affect that, right?
Yeah, it's a stunning film, honestly. Like, I would recommend everybody watching that film, or just go check out that film, and it's on YouTube right now. So
yeah, one of the people
must have been encouraging.
Yeah, one of the people who I actually talked to, shook his hand, was Dustin, just because we've had him on the show.
He's a beauty, isn't he?
Good stuff. And he's been pumping his episodic series all year. So it was like really the only one I knew. So it was good and nice to meet him in person. The other person I just want to point out here, so Aaron Sinclair is two of these other ones, which again, I didn't get to see them. However, it was, I kind of, he was pulled up on stage for one of the things, so it was kind of good to hear him talk. And the only reason I know him is because I think he's one of the moderators or the administrators, sorry, for like the Saskatchewan filmmakers Facebook page. So yeah, it was kind of cool to see him in it and involved.
So here's a question. Did you get to see Dustin, that episode that we played of Dustin Sin 305?
No, I've only
you didn't get to see that episode.
No, he was posting everything online, and when I initially seen the first episode when he posted it, I watched it. And I was like, okay, like cool. It kind of got to the end. It didn't really end. And I'm like, okay, whatever. That's how these things go, right? And then he kept posting stuff with it. I didn't understand that they were.
You didn't get that it was a series and all of that. Okay, yeah. So this, actually, I have to give a shout out to Jeremy for this because Dustin submitted the whole series, right? But we couldn't expect the jurors to watch the entire series. And so then we reached out and it was like, what episode do you want to show? And he's like, I don't know, whatever one. But Jeremy worked on the show and he was like, oh, I really like, I can't remember the number of the episode, but he was like, I think that this is a great episode to show because there's a scene in it where they're in the May Wilson Theater. And that was the theater that we were showing all of these films. So it was kind of neat to see the May Wilson Theater in this episode while we were in the May Wilson Theater. It was that kind of neat thing. But so getting back to Dustin's film, when his episode showed live in front of 300 plus people were there, it crushed. Like the jokes landed, people were howling in the seats, like all that series, that's how it was actually meant to be watched. And I didn't realize it. Like, when you're watching it at home by yourself, it doesn't have the same impact as when you're watching it with a bunch of film nerds, because a lot of those film nerdy jokes really, really hit there. And it was one of my favorite viewing experiences of the whole festival, was watching that episode, because it just went over so well with the audience. And another shout out, Leo Fafard was the lead in that. I'm not sure if he was the lead in the whole series, but he was in that episode. He was one of the main characters, and he did a great acting job in that one.
I'm just trying to see here. Is the whole series available online?
I don't think so yet.
Where do you know where people can actually watch it?
I thought it was on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's on Amazon.
There you go. This was one of the sections I was a little upset. I didn't get to see this. You guys ran this, later in the day. I did get to see Building Nations with Peter, and like Peter had the entire nation there, which was I thought quite incredible.
Brought a bus full of people there from from the Peter Chapman band. And it was awesome watching it with that group. Yeah, it was so cool.
Yeah.
They had a great time.
Yeah. Is this one the standout for you, or was there any others? You seem to talk about We Were Broncos a lot as well.
So Recovered, no qualms with that one winning, actually. Like it's a beautifully shot documentary, and it just hits you right in the heart for how real it is and how open the lead character is, and how much there's like a hope in it, but yet there's like empathy and sympathy, and just it's so real, but yet it's so beautiful at the same time. It's like hard to describe, but it's quite a unique documentary when you see it, because it doesn't have like the typical, like it's not shot the way that I would have shot it, right? Where you sit the person down and you light it beautifully, and then you get the interview. Then they somehow made it look incredible, but the person's like laying down on the couch, but not in a setup way. It just felt natural. It felt like you were just in the room there with them talking. Yeah, it was Yeah, really cool. And then I don't know, have you ever seen Blind Adventures with Ron Walsh and friends? It's just a fun show where this Ron Walsh is like blind, but he's going out. It's not stopping him. He's going out and doing stuff and having a grand old time. And I met Ron Walsh at the event. Ron was there.
Oh, nice.
And he's just full of energy, and he's like an older guy, like, but he's just there doing stuff and not slowing him down. He walked right up. Yeah, it was awesome. And yeah, luckily I actually, because I recognized him, but then because he was blind, it was like, you're Ron Wall, you know, like I felt pretty confident saying he was, you know, but yeah, it was like kind of an honor to get to meet the guy. Yeah, his show, it's worth checking out. He's a cool guy, like really good on camera too, just tons of fun.
Yeah. Just one thing actually made me think, did the judges give you guys like any indication of like why things maybe won or something like that?
Well, so I got a little bit more insight than most people, than Jeremy and Tim, because Jeremy and Tim had some projects that they'd submitted. Not like, so Tim submitted A Priest Walks Into a Bar. He was the director of that film. And Jeremy was the cinematographer on some of these projects. So there was a bit of a conflict of interest there. So during the meeting where the 4 jurors got together on Zoom or Skype or whatever they were meeting on, I, as a representative of the film festival, I was listened into their call. So I got slightly more insight than the other ones did. But they had a thing, like kind of like a rubric where they just ranked each film. They came up with a score, and then they just got together to go, okay, are these scores that we ranked, let's pretend that Recovered came out on top. It was just them going, is that the best film from here? And they're all just going, okay, this came out in the scores, but is this the best film? So that was basically how they were going through all the categories. Like, okay, this is the one that ranked best. Do we agree that that's the best one that we want to show? And so there would be a bit of an argument between going, okay, is Recovered the best one, or is We Were Broncos the best one? And then going back and forth, or name whatever other documentary you want in there. But so in this particular case, there was a really strong argument for We Were Broncos to be the best documentary available. And because it was such a tight, not I don't say argument, but such a tight race between Recovered and We Were Broncos, that each of the jurors could name one of the films, give it a juror prize. So one of the jurors gave We Were Broncos their juror prize because they really felt strongly that it needed to get recognized as a film in the film festival. So that was kind of neat to see that kind of back and forth.
The rubric itself, is it something the jurors came up with, or is it something you guys do? Or
I have no idea.
Fair enough.
I wasn't part of that at all, so I don't know. Maybe one of them came up with it and gave it to the jurors, or the jurors came up. Not sure.
Yeah, because like I find it would be really tough to. So we're looking at the best experimental short. Like, how do you, how do you rank these things? Because there's so much variances in here. And is it like, okay, is it just pretty? Is it, how's the sound?
I think that like sound, technical, visual, story, like I'm making stuff up now, but like it's stuff, somewhere along that line. But then I think that there's a final overall of like, okay, yes, it got this score according to the rubric, but if there's room for you to go, you know what, if let's pretend that Stubble ranked the best in the rubric, but the person themselves thought that Tool on the Moon was the best film, that there was room within the structure to go, no, I can change the number on Tool on the Moon to make it the best film because I thought that was personally the best film.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And 201 this category too.
Yeah, that was I shouldn't say shocking, but it's like, how often does a artsy 16 mil kind of feel good piece do that? You know what I mean? Like, and that was going up against some pretty big competition, I felt like, in this category between Ex Vivo, I'm Not Your Daughter, Stubble, and even Anomalies. Anomalies was an outstanding experimental short.
Yeah, I got to watch all of them except for Ex Vivo, but to me, it was probably between two and I'm Not Your Daughter. Actually, I'm Not Your Daughter was one of those ones I talked to you after about too, where I was like, man, do you know what? Like when we interviewed Nicole, the thing that like didn't really strike me, or because I'm busy doing other stuff, I'm pushing buttons, I'm bringing up screens. I was like, it didn't really sink in like how impactful that conversation with her friend would have been. And when I was sitting there in the theater watching it, like that's when I actually got like emotional about it. I was like, oh wow, like Nicole went through this. Like, wow.
Oh yeah, that film is so good. I actually wouldn't have been surprised. It didn't win a juror prize as like a runner-up, not a runner-up prize, but like one where a juror member felt so strongly about it. But yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised if it would have got voted for something like that.
Yeah. The other thing too, she had talked about maybe if she would do it again, she would actually use a real camera. And I actually think the iPhone is maybe what sold this for her as well. Because if she was to use a real camera and macro stuff, she would lose all that depth of field that she got. But because she's using iPhone, she got this beautiful, wonderful depth. And you could see all these intricate little pieces that she had made in the background. It was great.
Totally. Wouldn't have changed a thing with how she shot it. I thought it was borderline perfectly shot, which is crazy for I don't know how a film like that can be perfectly shot, but it almost like it basically was.
Best music video. I didn't get to watch these, but like seeing Dylan won, not surprised. Do you know what I am surprised about? Is that Raj was on here too. I would actually, I got to try to Google that and find this video and watch it.
Yeah, he's involved in so many different stuff. It's kind of wild.
Yeah. The best commercial, Nick.
Yeah.
You got a good story about this.
I got to present this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I got to give away the award. So I sponsored this award and got to.
Oh, here we go, boys and girls.
Yeah.
Nick Lamb Realty, give him a call, 555.
Yeah, 690-4206. Yeah, buyers selling in Moose Jaw or Regina. But I've got a network all over Saskatchewan though that I can refer to. So if you're in Saskatoon or somewhere else, don't hesitate to give me a call. I got lots of good people I work with.
Let's talk about the film fest. Enough about Nick.
What's my good story about this?
Just how pumped they were. Maybe you already shared it, but how pumped they were that there was actually a commercial side to it.
This was cool because the commercial people actually came up to me after the festival and thanked me for involving commercials in it so that they felt like they were included in it. And often we kind of, you kind of don't consider commercials as much as an art, but it's an art, and it's a chance that these are filmmakers that are paying the bills and feeding their families and doing it through commercial, and a chance for them to get recognized in a artistic venue like that, or for their artistic merit of it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, and it's a great way to get things done. Actually, like I find like Building Nations, when Pete was talking about that and how they got that done with the construction company, it really is gonna call it a commercial with how it's funded, but I mean it's just such a blend and such a beautiful, perfect way that just fits everybody, right?
Yeah, it was great. Pete's to me didn't feel like a commercial. I felt like his only had a 1 minute commercial in his one where he shouted out the construction company, but then he did a wonderful job, I thought, about focusing on the Peter Chapman Nation. And
but just
how
to my point, like why the commercial stuff is important, because it can lead to things like that.
How awesome is that he got the construction company, and the construction company was willing to make that film? Like, what a great piece of history for the Peter Chapman Nation to have. going forward because of that. And Pete got to give that to him. What an awesome piece to make.
Yeah, I would love to do something like that with my day job. So,
yeah.
The next category here, Nick, I didn't see any of these, but the best children's production.
I didn't watch any of these ones either. So,
hey, Stories of the North, the winner.
Yeah. So, I'm sure they were all great.
The best student film. Did you watch any of those?
I did. I watched a lot of the student films here. Did you get a chance to see any of these student films, or did I not do any
one?
Of them?
No.
They're the neat part. Well, you've made your fair share of student films, and how do I say this? Students are, at least yet, it's like it's not on the same level as the short film category as far as quality goes, but you can see glimpses in a lot of these student films where it's like, oh, that scene was done beautifully, or like there's moments in them that are really good, and some really stellar acting performances and like director decisions. And so Stay Here, the one that won, was awesome. Like, it was a really, really well done student film. Another one that was amazing was John's First Tattoo. That was a stellar, like, to me, it could have been, it was between Stay Here and John's First Tattoo. Those were two, to me, like, just standout films. Heritage Fair was really good too. What other one stood out to me?
Were all of these, are these like all people in the film school in Regina, or are they across Saskatchewan? There's other film schools, or where do they come from?
There's a film school or program or media program in Saskatoon, and
like
I think that some of them,
maybe, or Sask Poly. Sorry, I always call it Sask.
Maybe it's Poly, maybe it's a different one. There's like the Institute of. I've clearly done my homework.
Well, me too.
We're Out of Beer was fun too. You know, that's like the one that you could see yourself making when you're in university or whatever. Like, let's make a film about We're Out of Beer and going to get beer, and it's hilarious. So,
We're Out of Beer sounds like one I did was the man's diet.
yeah, something like that. But so this is the beauty of it. So, is it Dalen? I can't even quite read that.
Yeah.
But the director. He was down there, and I got to meet him and chatted with him for a bit. Wonderful person. And just like the classic student film thing, guess what he mentioned to me about the film? This is such a student filmmaking comment to say. His comment was he didn't realize how much in gas money it was going to cost to drive to all these locations. It's just such a student thing to say, right? Like, that was his biggest concern of the film, was the gas money.
Yeah. You know, that's what like being a student's about, though, too. Like, you get to spend some time, you get to work, figure out these kinks, and you kind of said from the start that there's glimmers of stuff. So I want to wrap a bow around this and be like, there's glimmers of good stuff. Nick dropped out of film school.
Yeah.
There was no glimmer.
No glimmer. No.
I stayed in film school, and there was also no glimmer for me. Like, I am pretty sure I just talked about my man's diet one. I don't think that would have made it anywhere. I'm not sure the jokes hit as good as I thought they did, but yeah.
Did I ever tell you my film school story? So I was working on a movie, and I was like, okay, guys, I'm actually going to be not. They were like, oh, well, it was wrapping up in August or something like that. And everybody was going, oh, are you going on the next show in September, October? And I was like, actually, I'm not. I'm going back to school. And I was talking with Mark Dobreski, who's now like legendary cinematographer in Saskatchewan. This would have been 20 years ago. And we were all hanging around the camera, and Mark goes, well, what are you taking in school, Nick? And I was like, film. And he was like, well, what are you going to do when you get out of school with your film degree? was like, work on movies. And he literally stepped off the camera, came over and he whacked me in the back of the head, like pretty hard. And he was like, you idiot, you're working on films right now. Why are you going back to school for another 4 years just to come out and work on films? And it was like, oh yeah, it was just like that. No duh. Why would I do that?
Yeah. And now you're a realtor. It's come full circle.
Every film school graduate's dream. That's what everybody dreams of doing.
I'd also like to just take the moment to point out that it literally said right here, the University of Regina Recording Arts Institute of Saskatoon and Sask Polytechnic, right on the page that we were looking at when we were trying to figure that out. So yeah, you know what, kids, stay in school.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Well, it helped you, Emery. You got a real job because of it. If you hadn't got your degree, you might not have got that real job.
Yeah, maybe.
It's not the first one anyway. You would have been able to get the second and third one, but
yeah. Best director, Dylan won again. I think all of these were kind of, I think, standout things for the festival. Standout.
Yeah, those were the top. That's actually kind of neat little snapshot of kind of the cream of the crop of the festival.
And then, that was best director scripted, and then best director unscripted. We were Broncos, so it's in there. Good to see, honestly, too, like Adrian Halter in there with Flat Out Food.
Yeah.
Flat Out's a great series.
We had an episode of that air at the festival too. That's such a well shot show. It's incredible. Lucas, if you haven't seen We Were Broncos, wow. I'm so glad that he won that best director, because I don't know how he got those interviews he got. Yeah.
Is it
stunning? Really?
I feel like that might be online too. That's the other thing. If you're interested in anything, give these things a Google. A lot of these things can be found online, especially over time as well. So, by this time next year,
we need to get Lucas on the show. He's wonderful.
Cool. Best writer.
Yeah, not surprised here. So actually, this is actually a bit of a little tidbit that I did learn from being on that Zoom call, was because everybody on that call had written stuff themselves, right? Like every one of the jurors had written their own pieces, and they definitely skewed towards like when they were figuring out, like, okay, was it this film or this film that was the best written? If it was a tie, they gave the tie to the feature, because the degree of difficulty, they felt like it's like, writing 20 minutes versus writing an hour and a half is totally another ball game. So that was a little tidbit that I learned from sitting in on their meeting.
Yeah, I would actually kind of agree with that. It's a lot harder. It's a lot harder. Do you know what I'd like to see more, like more written stuff given out to like comedy stuff? I think it's a lot harder to write comedy. But again, if you're trying to do a full feature length story, I think that's a lot more difficult than a shorter one.
And spoiler alert, Welcome to Kitty Town is very funny.
Yeah.
Very, very funny.
Best performance, female or non-binary.
Now, I didn't see every single film that got submitted, but this one here, after watching, this is my own personal opinion, after watching Our Last Days of Kids, I literally texted Jeremy and I was like, hey, that lead female, she's not in Saskatchewan anymore, is she? Like she's moved on somewhere so she can act professionally. And Jeremy's like, that's hilarious. She actually is. I don't know about you, Emery, but I thought that this was, you couldn't, like, there was almost no scenario where you couldn't give her the award, because she was the best actor in the festival, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm not going to claim I know how to judge that, right? Again,
well, neither do I. I'm an idiot.
I kind of like the comedy thing as well, like where you know, you look at someone like Lynette in Fossil Record, and it's
100%.
like she just buys into that character so fully, and you know, that's why she's on this list, I think. And
totally.
And to me, I'm impressed by that too. One other shout out. This came from Dylan's mouth, but that other female character in Our Last Day as Kids who came over from like Europe to actually start.
Yeah.
She's the winner in my books just for coming over to do
really
that.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, to not even, he didn't even meet her and everything. She just flew over like, I'm in, and started it.
Well, and so now I just said that, but it's like, this was actually, in my opinion, the best female act. That was the kind of like the star-studded category, because like Dakota, Emma, Karina, Lynette, Maggie, like all of them were amazing. And then they just happened to be in a category with Maggie, who was unbelievable. Like, that was the star-studded category.
I just scrolled to this. This is the first time I've seen this best performance, male or non-binary. I was going to actually say, like, I thought the guys in
I was curious what you were going to say.
We're good. So yeah, I've no like real reason. It was just, again, it was the first one I showed up, and I was really shocked at how well it was. And then, you know, kind of looking back and thinking of kind of the characters, and it was like these were the guys that I actually remember, and I think they actually pulled off the role quite well.
Yeah, I thought he was really good, and I actually thought that the therapist that played off of him was really good as well.
Both of them,
because often when you have a really strong performance like Andrew had in that one, they can kind of outshine the other person. But I thought the other person kept up and did that was a neat little film.
Yeah. Best technical achievement. The last
what was
category
this one again?
Here. It looks like you guys have a mix of different things, from sound to cinematography to visual effects, production design to editing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this one here. So this was the category because this is a time constraints and money constraints, right? So if we would have had each one of these categories, because each one of these really are a category, right? Like cinematography is a category, visual effects, production, all those are their own category, but we kind of had to lump them all into one just to save time at the awards show and save money. So in my mind, each one of these nominees essentially won an award, and then they just picked the winner for the sake that we had. They had to pick a winner out of those top 5. So
all right. Well, there you go.
If you got nominated, I would say you won.
Just based off that, I kind of get it with Klee, the production design, kind of the stuff they did with all the period get up and how it actually looked too, like where they actually shot.
Yeah.
The sound with
most talked about show of the festival, I'll tell you that.
Well, we could talk about that in a minute. The air as well. It's funny just saying it now, but that was the sound, was the air, not the hair.
Hair.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's kind of what I think that sound mix was maybe about, right? Those subtle air motions and stuff outside. So again, I kind of understand why they are where they are. Nick, do you want to talk about Klee? You want to get into this?
I think you got to see it first before we can really talk about it.
Something you got to see.
It was oddly enough. So it was the only short film out of our list that got into TIFF, and is kind of the most decorated film that was in the festival. But just the way our process happened to be, whatever, it didn't get nominated in ours, but that doesn't mean it's not worth a nomination or anything. But it did get shown at the festival, and I would say it was the most talked about film at the festival, which to me is definitely shows why it was nominated and why it's receiving so much attention, because it's a show that you will get talked about after the festival, and seeing it with that many people, the jokes really worked, I thought, in front of the that live theater audience. And yeah, it was definitely the talk of the festival.
Yeah, I think it's like the most, for lack of a better term, shocking kind of piece in there. Not that it's like a shock movie, if that makes sense. I think maybe its theme is what resonates with some people as well. Just going back into that colonial period, what had happened and all that, for me. And then, yeah.
You being a film student, you had a better insight on it than me, because I was kind of asking you, like, oh, what does this mean to you? Because I was having trouble wrapping my head around it.
Yeah, I feel like most people probably focus on like one aspect of that movie, which I think is kind of comical as well. So, anyways, it's playing at TIFF. Do you know when TIFF is even?
I have no idea. Yeah.
We'll see it. Everybody will get their chance to see it one day.
It'll come out at some point.
Yeah, we were hoping to have some people on to talk to us about this, but we just didn't get them on today. They'll probably join us.
We didn't have time. Sorry, I know they're waiting in the lobby. We'd love to get you guys on. But
yeah, and somehow we rambled for 46 minutes about it. Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to say about the festival itself, Nick? Anything what we can maybe expect next year? Anything like
that? Looks like it's coming back. I can basically say that. I can't announce the dates yet, because there's between 2 dates that we've kind of got the theater booked, but we're hoping for another group. So there's one group that's got 2 dates, and we've got 2 dates, and we're hoping that they drop one of their dates so we can take. There's one date that we like more than the other one, so we're trying to get that date, but we got to wait for another group to make their decision on it first, and then we can kind of decide our date after. But yeah, it's going to be 2 days. It's going to be at the May Wilson again.
2 days.
It's going to be in Moose Jaw. Yeah. So we're going to let it breathe a little more. We're thinking of doing maybe 6 blocks over 2 days. So kind of 3 blocks a day, and then an awards, so that there'll be time for proper interviews after the shows, time for proper break, actual lunch break where people can go get lunch and they don't have to miss out on everything. And we're not going to have the theater shut down over lunch. That was a problem, or over between supper and the awards. That was a problem last time, because a lot of people from out of town, they don't, get kicked out of the theater for an hour in the middle of Moose Jaw in the winter. Not cool. So yeah, there was some hiccups that we had that we're kind of trying to rectify for next year.
I thought it went well. So
yeah, no, it did. It went really good, but we're trying to smooth out a few of the rough edges of it.
Yeah, hopefully next year I can attend a little bit more, meet a few more people.
I want to get those dates. Once we get those dates, Emery, basically get you locked in and have you there the whole time and interviewing, taking a few of those moderator sessions on and stuff, I think would be good.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Pats and how they organize their schedule for the year. Eh? Sit in on those.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm just joking.
Our show's gotten to the point now with the Pats that, in my opinion, that with Brendan there, he could actually hop on too and handle it just fine. Brandon.
Brandon. Yeah, we're gonna see how that goes this weekend.
And but with Rammer there, he can run the show without me. So yeah, I'm not as worried as I would have been a couple years ago.
Yeah, we are both not there this weekend, Nick.
Yeah, and the show's going to be just fine.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Next year, get your films made, get them in, get them submitted. Where do they submit it again?
Yeah, you can submit them.
You're not going to use the same program, same thing?
No, we will. You basically go on to moosejawfilmfestival.com and then you submit it. You submit it through Film Freeway. But we'll figure out when the submission dates are, get all that happen. All that's going to happen sooner. Really, the big question, Emery, and me and you have talked about it for a while, but do we make a film?
I feel like Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing.
Make it. It's hard. Like, and so this is the honest truth. To get in that top 10, that's not easy. Like, definitely there's no shoe-ins in that top 10.
Yeah. It would be fun to actually go out to fail horribly, and then we could talk about it on the podcast.
That would be
all
fun.
Of our excuses as to why we didn't make it.
Yeah. Why we didn't get into Yorkton or Moose Jaw.
Well, the wind was coming from the south that day.
Yeah. It was a problem in casting is what we really ran into.
Yeah. Who made the casting? We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. No, irrelevant. Yeah. We just couldn't get the cast we wanted. So what could you do?
Yeah. All right.
We decided to star in it. Wouldn't that be funny?
The Just Two Camera Guys movie.
Yeah.
Worst movie ever.
Just the worst acted movie ever.
Yeah. Do you know what that movie needs? It needs an outro because we are going off the rails. Anyways, thanks for joining us, everybody. Until next time, have a good one.